Hi, Shanna Forrestall here, and I am so excited today to be here to chat a little bit with Ryan, who is producing a documentary on autism. Tell us about your documentary. What's it called?
Restoring Balance Autism Recovery is out to help families discover biomedical treatments for autism.
And that's exciting to me because I have friends who have children that are affected by autism, and I see the challenges that these families are facing, and I am just excited about anything that brings good news. And I think your documentary does that, right?
Absolutely. This documentary will help bring hope to families who thought that they've tried everything and that there was no other treatment to try. So
That's amazing.
It's like a new door that's basically opened.
And okay, so I'm not the most knowledgeable about this whole topic. I'm just starting to learn more about it from talking to you and from working with the autism program at the nonprofit, one of the nonprofits I work with. But I think my first question, Ryan, is I thought autism was genetic. I thought this was something you're just born with. I don't understand how something as simple as diet can make a change.
Actually, the genetic studies were very, very preliminary, and they've sort of disproven that there's any one type of gene that children on the autism spectrum might have. So actually, the genetic idea is being disproven, but it's still a belief and regular conception amongst our audience.
Okay. And then I heard, okay, so this is the thing. We hear that these numbers are going up. The numbers are terrifying. They're going through the roof, the number of children being born with autism. But then if you look at it, you're like, well, wait a minute. 20 years ago, I didn't really know anybody with autism. Today, I know a lot of them. Is it just that we're just figuring out what autism is?
Well, they've also sort of disproven this too, because actually these numbers at first were, again, preliminary studies. And now, even in California alone, in the past 2 years, it's jumped up 30%. So they've already had studies to disprove that it's just an increased diagnostic capability. It's more children. We're having more children. And if you ask someone who's grandmother age or whatnot, do you remember anyone with autism? They can't. And they are our beacons to really understand the changes that have happened with our children.
That's true, because it's even in just the recent years that I've heard people say, oh, this child got diagnosed, but a little later. But they did finally get diagnosed. People were getting diagnosed later, but I don't think 20 and 30 years ago I or even my family knew people that had children with those symptoms.
Exactly, and especially at the rates, it's pretty much now one in every classroom is going to have symptoms on the autism spectrum. The rates are 1 in 68, but the CDC just released an increase in those statistics. They're now saying it's around 1 in 36. So in the 70s, it was 1 in 500. It's jumped up 600% in the past 40 years. So actually, one of the doctors says it's impossible to have a genetic epidemic. So this cancels out the first question, because what changes in the genetics? It's not the genetics, it's probably the environment.
That makes sense. Because if I think back, I didn't grow up with anybody with those symptoms, but the older I've gotten, especially as I rolled into my 30s and now into my 40s, I have a lot of women around me who are moms or who are new moms or who are thinking about being moms, and it's a real concern now. People think about that. They're like, oh, what if they're on the spectrum and they see families around them with the issues that they struggle with, and they're like, wow, that's a challenge, and it's a very real thing, and it seems to be, from what we see, a growing problem, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a growing problem. And unfortunately, the capacity to help these children, from a nation standpoint and the services we have for them, we're overfilling the bucket. And at this rate, they say by the year 2025, 1 out of every 2 children will have an autism diagnosis.
Wow. Well, it's definitely a problem. It's a growing challenge. But now here's another question, because when you look at, first of all, I have friends who are on the spectrum, beautiful friends who are on the spectrum, and they're really special, unique people. Are we trying to change them?
We get that from a lot of people, but parents have stated it best to say that my kid isn't any different from who they were. We're not changing their personality. We're giving them more opportunities, by taking away things that didn't serve them, certain behaviors. Maybe it's even seizures Some have gotten rid of
Right.
seizures. And if this is an opportunity to get rid of seizures, you can imagine that the children have more opportunities to thrive in school and social life.
And so, and I remember hearing you say something too about when the diet improves the health improves the ability to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important, right? Because then whatever kind of therapies or assistance they're getting, they're able to better learn and function and have a better life, maybe even get a job or do things that they couldn't do before.
Absolutely. And these changes in ability come from changes in inflammation. They've found that there's brain inflammation going on. And so when they do things to address the inflammation in the brain, these children have they explode with growth in all these areas: social, eye contact, vocabulary. And so if we can change something like that, why shouldn't we?
Right. I mean, I know the families that I know that are affected. Anything we can do to bring hope and to bring, assistance and to bring especially solutions like this, where it's just changing the diet in the home. I mean, we all benefit from that, whether we're on the spectrum or not. If we make positive changes to our diet in the home, we're all gonna win. I mean, that's wonderful. And then if it's creating independence and it's creating, growth and development for these children or adults, I mean, how can we not be excited about that? That's good news.
Absolutely.
So your project is amazing, and I'm going to be getting involved in ways to help, because I love when solutions like this come along and we're able to help people with something as simple as a diet change. I mean, that's revolutionary, and if it helps even one family, I'm in. It's like, it's good. So tell us, if people want to get involved, you have social media, you have a website. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So check out restoringbalanceautism.com, and there we have plenty of resources for new families who might be wondering, what is biomedical treatment, or what have these other families gone through? They can check out videos of families that are going to be in the movie. There's lists of practitioners that are going to be in your area, and we're going to use our website to expand on this as a whole network. But please connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, don't forget to donate.
Yes.
Because
give yo money.
all
Films take money.
All dollars help. All dollars help so much, because each one of these families, they've come back and they've said, so-and-so has told me what an inspiration this video was for them, and they've started something, and they see changes. And that's priceless.
Right.
So a few of your dollars can lead to priceless gifts for these other families.
And I've been in film and TV for years. I know what it takes to make films. It takes years. Ryan, my heart just loves you, because I know the time and energy it takes to put into a passion project. Ryan has worked on his own, without assistance a lot of time, putting his own money, his own time, his own energy into this, simply because he believes that families deserve the right to know. They deserve the right to have some hope. And he's seen the changes firsthand. If you go and you listen to the videos on the site where Ryan talks about how he got involved in this project, he's a specialist in this area, and he saw the results in children he was working with, and that inspired him to capture these real stories. Film is a labor of love. It's in the can. It's done. The interviews have been done. A lot of the work's been done. But now it has to be finished. And here's what's great about it, is he's also going to use some of these young men and women with autism right here in Los Angeles who are in a film program to help finish the film. So the dollars you give help to finish with editing. They help to promote it, to get it ready for festival or showings or screenings, so that as many families as possible can hear the good news, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that we can bring on 3 students from Actors for Autism. They're going to get to work under 4-time Emmy award-winning animator Charlie Canfield. So that's really exciting that they get this professional experience, and we get to have their talent on board. It's a win-win for everybody.
And Ryan needs to stop paying for this himself, folks. With a mission this big, we need all of us to get involved. We're all going to be affected. If these numbers continue to rise, our community, our country, you, me, our families, everybody is going to pay if we don't pay attention. So please, if you can give, if you can't, support, connect with the social media, get on the website, learn something, send the link to someone you know that needs some assistance or some guidance. They have a lot of professionals on the site with a lot of great information, and I know that so many people are going to be helped. And Ryan, thank you for the work that you've put into this so far, and we're just excited to get the news out. It's good news, and help us share it. Ryan, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.